once again, welcome to Neural Science. Today we'll be discussing biology also, which is microbiology topic 1. And here's our course outline. So we're going to be starting with the history of microbiology. So we all know that microbiology dates back to the early 1600s when microscopes were first discovered. And we know that biology, microbiology, micro means small, and microbiology basically means the study of microorganisms too small to be seen with the optical eye. Okay, so microbiology is the study of organisms too small to be seen with the naked eye or optical eye. With the naked eye, or you can call it optical eye. Okay, now these small organisms are referred to as microorganisms, or you can call them micro for short. Now let's give a brief history of microbiology, which dates back to the 1600s. So microbiology began as a result of the discovery or the invention of microscope, which was first invented by Zacharias Janssen. But sadly, he invented a microscope, but the microscope lacked a great magnifying power to see microorganisms. So then the father of microbiology arose and he said, I want to invent a microscope that will be able to view tiny organisms. And the father of this microbiology is said to be Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. So this man came up one morning and said, okay, I want to create a microscope that has great magnifying power, and he viewed microorganisms. Earlier then he named them animalcules. Take note of this, animalcules. These are like the question you can see over the. He named microorganisms animalcules. Mind you, but the first person to have invented the microscope is said to be Zacharias Janssen. He was the first scientist to ever come up and said he wants to invent a compound microscope. He was also the person that invented a telescope anyway. So now, the modern consideration of microbiology throw into light the biotechnological approaches in studying microorganisms. What do I mean? Now, in the modern technology of microbiology, we don't just study organisms based on their size, based on the fact that they are small. We study organisms based on what to know their physiological processes, their biotechnological processes, and some of these large bacteria. There are some examples of some large bacteria that we study in the modern consideration of microbiology. Examples are like the likes of Margarita magnifica, the likes of Acromatium, Oxaliferum, the sulfur-dioxide bacteria, which lives in freshwater. We also have the Epilopicium physiocini. Well, in microbiology, what makes it sweeter are these names. These are the names you must learn, these are the names you must master to make your microbiology very interesting. So we have the likes of Margarita magnifica. So these are examples of some large bacteria studied in the modern consideration of microbiology. The modern consideration of microbiology, which I'll be writing MB for short. Biology are that like of Margarita magnifica, have Margarita magnifica. We have the likes of Epilopicium physiocini. We also have the likes of Acromatium Oxaliferum, which is a sulfur-oxidizing bacteria that lives in freshwater habitat. Oxaliferum. Let me just indicate it for extra knowledge. A sulfur oxidizing bacteria that dwells in fresh water habitats. Lest I forget, the name of the first person that created a microscope is said to be Zacharias Jason. I didn't put it here. Zacharias. We have Zacharias Jason. Zacharias Jason, which was the first scientist to have invented a microscope. So basically, what the modern contribution of microbiology is trying to explain to us that nowadays we don't just study microorganisms because they are small. Because when you can call something a microorganism, that means it has a diameter or have a diameter which is within the range of 1 millimeter or less than 1 millimeter. So now we said, okay, no, we're not just studying organisms based on the fact that they are small. We need to study their physiology, like in-depthly. So now these are some bacteria that we study in the modern constitution of microbiology, considering the fact that they are large, but yet we still add them as microbiology. So now I'll give you some examples of some organisms which are being studied in microbiology. We have the like of viruses, we have fungi, we have the ascomyces, which are the nematodes, we have the platyomyces, which are the flatworms, we also study protozoans in microbiology, study bacteria. So here I'll be writing examples of some organisms. Examples of organisms studied in microbiology. Like I said, we have study viruses. These are the acellular organisms. You can ask viruses are the acellular organisms. Study bacteria, which are the prokaryotes. Under the kingdom of Iran, we all know that prokaryotes. Study fungi, which are the heterotrophic eukaryotes. They can be unicellular and multicellular. But mind you, only unicellular fungi we have is just the yeast. You can see the likes of Aspergillus niger, Aspergillus species. So we have fungi, the heterotrophic eukaryotes. We also have the likes of ascomyces, which are the nematodes. When we get to that part, we understand why ascomyces are referred to as nematodes. Then we also have the platyomyces, which are the flatworms. Flat in bacteria basically means flat. We have the platyomyces, which are the flatworms. Then we have the protozoans. Examples of these protozoans are the Sarcodina, we have the Mastigophora, we have the flagellates, we have the Pseudophora, we have the Apicomplexer. So yeah, these are organisms we study in microbiology. So later on, we'll be diving into all these organisms, knowing their characteristics, how you can classify them, and their life cycle and everything.